Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here with another Friday Reads. This week in print, I'm reading A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles, and I'm really loving this novel so far. I'm reading it for one of my book groups, and as I said to my husband last night, when everyone I know tells me a book is amazing, I should really listen. Ever since this book was published in 2016, I've been hearing nothing but rave reviews about it, and now I understand why. It begins in 1922 in Moscow, where Count Alexander Rostov has been sentenced by a Bolshevik tribunal for being an unrepentant aristocrat. He's a poet, and his sentence is house arrest in this grand hotel in the middle of Moscow called the Metropole, which is a real place. So Alexander has lived in the hotel for several years now, but he's been living in one of its luxury suites, and spending his days roaming around Moscow, going to the ballet at night, eating in the best restaurants, that sort of thing. Now he is moved to a tiny room up in the attic, and he's confined to the hotel's premises. He can go anywhere he wants within the hotel, but he can't leave. So he's pretty upset about this at first and has trouble getting used to it. But during his first year, Alexander comes to realize that there is a whole world operating behind the scenes in the hotel that he never even knew about. He develops a friendship with a 9-year-old girl named Nina. Now, Nina is very precocious, very smart, and she strikes up the friendship with Alexander by asking him, knowing that he is a count, asking him if he knows many princesses and if he can tell her how princesses behave. So Nina is just a great part of the novel. I'm only about 125 pages in, but I'm really loving this so far as Alexander tries to create a life for himself within the confines of the hotel. It's warm, it's funny, and it's completely engrossing. I just can't wait to see what happens next. On audio, I'm listening to One Way or Another by Kara McDowell. This is a YA novel. If you've read my blog, you know that I absolutely love any kind of a book plot having to do with time shifting, time travel, alternate timelines. This one falls in that latter category of alternate timelines. So Paige is a 17-year-old girl who lives in a small town in Arizona. She's never traveled anywhere, but she really wants to. Her room is covered with photos of places around the world. And she is secretly in love with her best friend, Fitz. So Paige also suffers from anxiety, and she has trouble with even the most minor decisions. But now, suddenly, she is faced with a huge decision. She's been invited to 2 amazing places for Christmas. Fitz has invited her up to his family's cabin in the mountains, which would mean not only seeing snow for the first time ever, but it would give her a chance to spend time alone with Fitz. Fitz has just broken up with his latest girlfriend, and she has visions of Hallmark holiday movies dancing in her head. So that's her first choice. Her second choice is equally enticing. Her mom won 2 plane tickets to New York City for the holidays, and she wants to take Paige with her. This has been a dream of Paige's, to be in New York for the holidays. This is also fueled mostly by rom-coms, but there's so many things she wants to see and do there. So she's paralyzed with indecision. She's talking to her friend as they walk through a grocery store, and she slips on the floor and hits her head. Now, at this point, the novel splits into two different timelines. On one path, Paige goes ahead and goes to the mountain cabin with Fitz and his family. And on the other path, she goes to New York City and tries to cross as many items off her bucket list as she can. Now, in both scenarios, on both pathways, Paige is still dealing with her anxiety, and in many ways, it's ruining the perfect holiday in both places. So, what I like about this novel is it's a lot of fun with the dual timelines and the rom-com sort of aspects to it. But I also like that it deals with a serious issue, Paige's anxiety, and how she has to learn to cope with that in either situation in order to, to make the best of things. So I'm really enjoying it so far. That's One Way or Another by Kara McDowell. And I'd love to hear what you are reading this weekend. So please let me know down in the comments below.